Namaste, Krishnamurti ji.
Namaste, sir. Namaste. Actually, I am not in a hurry. I just wanted to respond to your uh, greetings. That is why I raised my hand. Nothing more than
Yeah,
that. Doubt I will ask later.
just wait. Let Atmisha come and make the announcement.
Okay, I understand.
Namaste. Yeah.
Namaste. Can you guys hear me on my audio right now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, excellent.
Can we start then? Or if you are ready, you can announce.
Yeah, I can. I just didn't know. Okay, so welcome everybody. Really happy to be together with Binduji for a Sunday discussion. Just for the sake of the replays or anyone who's new, feel free to join us at this house, Advaita Vedanta Satsang, and Upanishad and other text classes. Right now we're doing Aparoksha Nubhuti. Will be the third class coming up. Classes Wednesday and Friday at 8:30 p.m. IST, this discussion every Sunday, and we can bring forward questions related to the class, but also anything related to Advaita that we would like to discuss with Binduji and have our questions answered or our topics discussed. Please feel free to raise your hand. Prakash will bring you up. And just to really say we benefit from hearing what's on all of our minds and actively taking the opportunity to be a community as opposed to just a small speaker panel that almost can become like a podcast. So please do come up if you have sincere topics to discuss with Bindu. So I think without further ado then, Binduji, let's start.
Yeah, I just had 1.5 hours of discussion and talk in one of those Malayalam channels where both Prakash and Krishnamurti sir were there. And I had told those who wanted to ask further questions there to come to this room for asking questions. So some of them may come and Prakash will be able to identify them and bring them up. So Krishnamurti sir, over to you.
So Binduji, if you don't mind, I don't know how many in the audience know your journey. So at some point when I have a full audience, I want to give everybody an insight into your life's journey because I don't think people know your background and they might be curious. So this is something I'm requesting you. So when everybody is here, I want to, give them your life journey in terms of the teachers, your early life, because that insight is actually very melodious and beautiful. So.
Sure, Prakash, you can do that. Let there be more audience.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Murthy sir.
Thank you, sir, for giving me the opening opportunity. Sir, your lecture in the other room was excellent, and I was very. It gave me a lot of insight and information. My question is, Shankaracharya, there is a feeling in at least in some corners that the Advaita philosophy and the Shankaracharya's teaching is not helping motivation. It actually demotivates people performing in doing work or something. To this, what I'm saying is, my reading, I understand that Shankaracharya was not against action. He was against Kamya Karma. He was in favor of doing Vihita Karma. But if we have stick down to only Vihita Karma, all these developments, all these research, even the works of Shankaracharya will not have come to light. So, more than Vihita Karma, Kamya Karma is also necessary. Kamya Karma, but the intention or the purpose of that karma should be for the social benefit. So if the social benefit is the objective, then Kamya Karma is something we have to welcome. Though Advaita does not recommend Kamya Karma, it recommends only Vihita Karma. What is your views on this? That is my first question. I have a couple of questions later that I'll
Well, we should understand the time and period and the purpose of Shankaracharya before making any generalized assumptions. Shankaracharya's time was the time when Vedic culture was in the what you call downward trend due to the liking and the methodology and the veracity with which Buddhism was being made popular in the country. Many kings became the followers of Buddha. Many of their, money and systems were spent in propagating Buddhism. And added to that, those who were in the Vedic system also were, as you rightly said, they were not just doing Vihita karmas, but they were doing most of the Kamya karmas in the name of Vihita karmas. That means they were supposed to do as per the ritual of the instructions from the Veda, but they started more of their personal gratification by, doing yajnas and karmas, which were more towards spending there whereby they get benefited rather than knowledge-based teaching. So this was the time when Shankaracharya understood that if this was allowed to grow and become a popular method as Buddhism and Jainism were popular in India, the Vedic tradition will get wiped out. So he had this as a responsibility to bring in the importance of knowledge rather than the yajnas and the ritualistic things which were being promoted by the Vedic people. So what he did was he brought in this aspect of the Upanishad as a Dharma Shastra and asked every one of them to understand the purpose of what you call the Upanishad and thereby giving philosophy a chance and opportunity to succeed against the Buddhist philosophies, thereby making the Buddhist philosophy not become influential to the Hindu society. Even though there was no Hindu society per se, only Vedic society. But the purpose of Shankara was to promote the message of Upanishad whereby the non-dual Brahman was to be known by the public, and the benefits of that he also wrote the Brahma Sutra Bhashya and the Gita Bhashya part along with the Upanishad Bhashyas, mainly to see the Gita in a Advaitic light, even though he could not succeed in some of the verses where it was purely Sankhya and Dvaita. He had to write them slightly convoluted to, bring it into the Advaitic folder. He didn't have to do that, but because his purpose was very important for maintaining the Vedic Upanishadic knowledge, he had to take this path. That is why the statements which you made may appear to be true, but they are not really true. What is the next question?
Actually, the very same question you said, it is for gratification. Actually, gratification comes only through Kamya Karma, I think. Vihita Karma, it will become only a ritual. So, if Shankaracharya was against a ritualistic way of doing things, then why he recommended this Vihita Karma? Because it is only a ritual, and he did not recommend Kamya Karma, because Kamya Karma will only encourage creativity.
He did that mainly because the Vihita karmas were not done as Vihita karmas. They, under the disguise of Vihita karma, it was more gratification of the priest class which was doing that. If they had done why he had to do the Vihita karma? Because he cannot say part of the Veda is only right, the other part is wrong. Veda as such is both Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa. That the Mimamsa of the rituals and the knowledge aspect of the Upanishad. So both being part of one category, he had to uphold both of them to be true. Therefore, in the ritualistic part, he had to mention the Vihita karmas, but not Kamya karmas, because Kamya karmas will only take you back to that. That is why he wrote the Ishavasya Upanishad, where Sambhudim, Asambhudim cha, and all those things which he has brought in, where he thought that, the Vidya, those who do, that will go to a greater hell, that he had re-established it as meditation and a ritualistic action, rather than Vidya as knowledge. Because Vidya also has a meaning of Upasana. Therefore, he chose the word Upasana for his explanation. That is what Shankaracharya did.
Can I talk in Malayalam? Could I talk?
Can you just wait? Just wait. Let me complete with Krishnamurthy, sir.
Sir, okay, I'm stopping this.
Okay, so just let me step in for a moment. The way that we generally do this is anyone is welcome with a sincere question or topic for Bindaji to raise their hand and come up, and Prakash will bring you up. Then what we normally do is we go through the order that people came up on the speaker panel and give them a chance to talk with Bindaji. But if a broader discussion happens, that's absolutely fine also. So let's just go ahead first, though, and give Ganesh a chance, and then we'll move on. Thanks. Just to let people who are new to the house know how we work it.
Thank you, Artemisia. No, I will ask towards the end. It's okay if somebody else takes it.
Could I ask Mr. Bindu, what you tell about Advaita? It's ultimate consciousness. How can you tell?
മലയാളത്തിൽ ചോദിക്കും, മനസ്സിലായില്ല.
അതാണ് അങ്ങ് അദ്വൈതം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്, ശങ്കരാചാര്യ പറയുന്ന അദ്വൈതം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് അങ്ങ് എന്തിന്റെ അടിസ്ഥാനത്തിലാണ് അദ്വൈതത്തെ വിശദീകരിക്കുന്നത്?
അദ്വൈതത്തെ കേട്ടില്ല.
അങ്ങ് അദ്വൈതത്തെ വിശദീകരിക്കുന്നത് എന്ത് പ്രാഗ്യത്തിന്റെ ഏത് പ്രമാണപ്രകാരമാണ് അദ്വൈതത്തെ വിശദീകരിക്കുന്നത്?
എനിക്ക് ചോദ്യം മനസ്സിലാവുന്നില്ല, കാരണം വോയിസ് ബ്രേക്ക് ആവുന്നുണ്ട്.
മൈക്രോഫോൺ അഡ്ജസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യൂ രുദ്രശ്രീ.
അതായത് അങ്ങ് അദ്വൈതത്തെ ഇത്രയും വിശദീകരിക്കുന്നത് എന്ത് പ്രമാണത്തിന്റെ അടിസ്ഥാനത്തിലാണ്? ഭാരതത്തിന്റെ പ്രാമാണികമായിട്ടാണ്. കഠോപനിഷത്തിൽ വ്യക്തമായിട്ട് പറയുന്ന ഒരു വിഷയമുണ്ട്. നമുക്ക് ഒരിക്കലും അദ്വൈതത്തെ യുക്തി കൊണ്ടോ ബുദ്ധി കൊണ്ടോ ചിന്തകൾ കൊണ്ടോ നമ്മൾക്ക് ഏകമായ സത്യത്തെ വിശദീകരിക്കാൻ കഴിയില്ല. പിന്നെ നിങ്ങൾ എന്തിനെയാണ് വിശദീകരിക്കുന്നത് എനിക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവുന്നില്ല.
അതെ, അതുകൊണ്ട് ഒരു ഉപനിഷത്ത് മാത്രം പഠിച്ചാൽ പോരാ, എല്ലാ ഉപനിഷത്തും 10 ഉപനിഷത്തും പഠിച്ചാലേ അതിന്റെ പൂർണ്ണമായിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ഇത് കിട്ടുള്ളൂ.
പോരാ.
ലെറ്റ് മീ എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ടു യു.
ഓക്കെ. നമുക്ക് 1 by 1 ടോക്ക് ആവാം. അതായത് അങ്ങ് 10 ഉപനിഷത്ത് പഠിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അല്പജ്ഞാനിയാണ്. 108 ഉപനിഷത്ത് പഠിക്കണം. മാണ്ഡ്യൂക്യ ഉപനിഷത്ത് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ ഉപനിഷത്ത് വ്യക്തമായിട്ട് വിശദീകരിക്കുന്നുണ്ട് ശ്രീരാമൻ ഹനുമാനോട്. അതായത് സ്വരൂപത്തെ മാത്രം അറിയാനായിട്ട് 10 ഉപനിഷത്താണ്. സ്വരൂപത്തെ മാത്രം അറിയണമെങ്കിൽ എന്തൊക്കെ ചെയ്യണം? എന്തൊക്കെ അറിയണം? സാമീപ്യത്തെ അറിയണം, സാരോഗ്യത്തെ അറിയണം, സായുജ്യത്തെ അറിയണം. അങ്ങ് ആ സായുജ്യത്തെ അറിഞ്ഞാൽ മാത്രമേ കൈവല്യമുക്തി സംഭവിക്കുന്നുള്ളൂ എന്ന് രാമൻ ഹനുമാനോട് പറയുന്നത് തെറ്റാണ്.
എനിക്ക് see for the understanding of the audience, his question was, what is the basis or what is the authority based on which I am so much propagating or talking about Advaita? He quoted from Kathopanishad, which is talking about that, by the intellect or by the activity, nobody can never know what is the reality of Atma. So
No,
I told
not
him,
like that. Not like that. I'm directly telling, Kathopanishad is directly telling to us, we can't explain. Weight, thinking, and buddhi ke പറയാ Prakash sir,
intellect.
we can't explain. Directly tell who intellect, who told about
Okay.
the ultimate truth. He's a fool, because who told about the ultimate truth? He's a fool. Directly telling the Kathopanishad. Then how can he telling about Advaita?
Listen, okay.
It's the ultimate truth. How can told?
Listen to me. Kathopanishad mantra I am quoting. Prajanchikani Vyaranat Swayambhu Tasmat Parang Pasyadina Antaratman. Kastidira Pratyagatmanam Aikshad Avrta Chakshu Amrutatvamichan. അവിടെ കശ്ചിദ്ധീര ഒരു ധീരൻ പ്രത്യേകാത്മാവിനെ കണ്ടു. എന്തുകൊണ്ട്? ഉൾക്കണ്ണുകൊണ്ട് കണ്ടു എന്നാണ് പറയുന്നത്. അതായത് പുറത്തുള്ള ഇന്ദ്രിയങ്ങളെ, നമ്മളെ പുറത്തുള്ള ലോകത്തിനെ കാണാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ, അതിൽ കൂടെ ആത്മാവിനെ കാണാൻ പറ്റില്ല. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഉൾക്കണ്ണുകൊണ്ട് സ്വന്തം തെരഞ്ഞ് ഒരു മനുഷ്യൻ ആത്മാവിനെ കണ്ടു എന്ന്. സോ ദിസ് ഈസ് what Kathopanishad has said, and the same Kathopanishad is also saying, if you are not prepared, if you are not mentally prepared, if your intellect is not prepared, you will never be able to do that. So don't quote one part of the Upanishad to negate the other one.
The second point, sir, നമ്മൾക്ക് ഇവിടെ ആർക്കും ഈ പറയുന്ന ശ്ലോകങ്ങളുടെ അർത്ഥം വ്യാഖ്യാനിക്കാനും ശ്ലോകങ്ങൾ കേട്ടൊന്നും മനസ്സിലായി, ശ്ലോകങ്ങൾ കൊണ്ടല്ല, നമ്മൾ കണ്ടന്റ് ആണ് എടുക്കേണ്ടത്. സെക്കൻഡ് പാർട്ടില് വ്യക്തമായിട്ട് കഠോപനിഷത്തിൽ പറയുന്നുണ്ട്, ആരാണ് നിഷ്കളങ്കമായിട്ട് ഈ പറയുന്ന റിച്വൽസിനെ പിന്തുടരുന്നത്, അവരിലേക്ക് സ്വയമേവ വരുന്നതാണ് പരമാത്മാ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സത്യമെന്ന്. ആ രണ്ടാമത്തെ പോർഷൻ എന്തുകൊണ്ട് നിങ്ങൾ പറയുന്നില്ല? അതിന് ശ്ലോകം നിങ്ങൾ പറഞ്ഞു, ഞാൻ അതിന്റെ മലയാളം പറയും. എനിക്ക് ശ്ലോകത്തോട് വലിയ താല്പര്യമില്ല. ശ്ലോകമല്ല നമ്മുടെ അടിസ്ഥാനം. അതിലെന്താണ് കണ്ടന്റ്? ആ കണ്ടന്റിലാണ് കാര്യം. അതായത് ആരാണ് നിഷ്കളങ്കമായിട്ട്, ഇന്നസെൻസ്, ഹൂ ഈസ് ഫോളോവിങ് വിത്ത് ഇന്നസെൻസ് വിത്തൗട്ട് നത്തിങ് നീഡ്, പരമാത്മ ഡയറക്ട്ലി കണക്റ്റഡ് ടു ദം, നോട്ട് കണക്റ്റഡ് ടു ഹിം, ഫ്രം ഹിം. അപ്പൊ ഇവിടെ ചോദ്യം, can I finish my words?
Please.
അപ്പൊ who is following his rituals and anything, what happens in life? പരമാത്മാവിനെ നമുക്ക് ഒരിക്കലും never get in our decisions. പരമാത്മാവ് സ്വയമേവ വരണം. ആ സ്വയമേവ വന്നിട്ട് നമ്മളിലേക്ക് ഉണരണമെന്ന് അടിച്ചിട്ട് പറയുന്നു കഠോപനിഷത്ത്. രാമായണത്തിലും നിവർത്തന്തേ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ശ്ലോകത്തിൽ പറയുന്നു വ്യക്തമായിട്ട്. എന്റെ ചോദ്യമല്ല, നിങ്ങൾ എന്തിന്റെ അധികാരത്തിലാണ്? അദ്വൈതം ബോധമാണെന്നോ? അദ്വൈതത്തിന്റെ പൂർണ്ണമായ ഒരു വിധി നിങ്ങൾ കൺക്ലൂഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നതിന്റെ പ്രമാണം മനസ്സിലായിട്ടില്ല. വ്യക്തമായിട്ട് രാമൻ ഹനുമാന് പറഞ്ഞു കൊടുക്കുന്നുണ്ട്, എന്റെ സ്വരൂപം അതാണ് അദ്വൈതം. അവിടെ 4 മുക്തിമാർഗങ്ങളുണ്ട്. ആ 4 മുക്തിമാർഗങ്ങളിൽ സാലോക്യ, സാരൂപ്യ, സാമീപ്യ, സാരൂപ്യ, സായുജ്യമുക്തി. ആ സായുജ്യത്തിൽ നിന്ന് മാത്രമാണ് പൂർണ്ണമായിട്ടുള്ള കൈവല്യമുക്തി വരിക. അതായത് കൈവല്യം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് അദ്വൈത ദർശനമാണ്. അപ്പൊ 10 ഉപനിഷത്ത് കൊണ്ട് എങ്ങനെയാണ് നിങ്ങൾ അദ്വൈതത്തെ വിശദീകരിക്കുന്നത്? എന്നാണ് ചോദ്യം. with Pramanam.
Is
Okay.
this audible?
Yeah, ഒരു second, 1 minute, Binduji. Yeah, കഴിഞ്ഞു. Rare, your opportunity to ask questions is over. Now let's Binduji answer the question. Okay, let's listen. Binduji, go ahead, please.
Is he there to listen to the answer, or he left?
He has left.
I think he left along with Sebastian also. And I just want to say thank you, Prakash, and acknowledge the comment that Ari made in the chat. It's pretty much impossible for me to moderate a language I can't understand because I can't assess if what's happening is productive or not. So if you'll be sure and step in, Prakash, and if we can have some sensitivity that some people have a hard time using English and to understand that. But at the same time, there are also plenty of Indian participants in the listener panel who can't understand certain things too. So as much as we can use English. Thank you, Prakash. Sorry, Bindo. I think some people try to use the opportunity to speak and not to listen. And I should be quiet or I'll fall in that category. I think Kumar is well, no,
Yes.
Ganesh, you passed on. Am I wrong?
No,
Prakash?
yes, you're right, Artemisia, because
Yeah,
Binduji pointed out that he just finished a session in another house on Advaita, and there were a lot of follow-up questions about agency and how one figures out. And Rare Ancient Man is a phenomenon in Clubhouse who talks about, energy, and he's not in the path of Advaita, so he's going to challenge everything. So he just asked and he left. So we'll continue our room and we'll pass the mic to
Ganesh?
Kumar.
Oh, I think Ganesh passed.
Ganesh he passed. He said he'll come later. So Kumar is next.
Am I audible?
Very much so.
So my question was, according to Bhagavad Gita, what is the aim of human life? Is it moksha or amrititva? And if it is moksha, at this moment, I don't really know what moksha is. And whatever I know, I don't desire to get moksha at the moment. So is that okay? I should still continue with my studies. Thank you.
Kumar, the Bhagavad Gita has a recipe for all the 4 type of Purushartha, Dharmartha, Kama, Moksha. So each one of them have got importance in human life. But the ultimate one is moksha. But moksha is only for those who feel that they need moksha. The mumukshutvam, that means the desire to get moksha, can come only to those who are fed up of life, in the sense that they are not able to find a solution for happiness. Not because they are fed up of and they want to commit suicide, not that way. They are not able to find permanent happiness in anything what they do in their life. They find they are all transient and temporary in nature. So where can I get a permanent happiness? Only those people are the people who are, we call it as people who are looking for freedom or liberation from the day-to-day, rat race. But people who are not fit for that still have lot of, requirements. So based on that, Bhagavad Gita has divided Karma Yoga, Karma Sannyasa, Bhakti Yoga. All those things have been laid out very clearly by Bhagavad Gita. So those who want any one of them, they need to accept that aspect of the Bhagavad Gita and pursue in their life. That is why I said Bhagavad Gita is an encyclopedia for living. Those who are living and want control their mind getting involved and getting disturbed because this is specifically mentioned in 2 verses in chapter 2. From attachment, we develop desire. And desire is the reason why we have, sorrows and failure, all sorts of things. And when this happens, we lose our mental balance. And when we lose our mental balance, we are not able to make right decisions. And when we are not able to make the right decisions, we fall from our, stature, because our decisions mostly go wrong because our mind is preoccupied on the failure of our, desired item not getting successful. So this reason is the reason why life becomes a bundle of unhappiness. So therefore, you have to start with actions which is in the form of dedication. And when you are in the form of dedication, you are not expecting the result to be on your own, or you are not waiting for the result to come to your side. Then the other option given to that, those who have now done that, they are not even worried about the fruits of action, are the people who can get into a state of even karma sannyasa. That means you can renounce even the karma by mental attitude that you are not the doer, you are not the enjoyer type of a thing. When you do that, your mind will become purer and clearer. You can develop your devotion to God. This is what is given later in the 12th chapter and all for the 6th to 12th chapter, which is called the devotional marga. And then when your devotion is matured, that is the time you would like to know the difference between the God and myself. Kshetra Kshetratnyoriyatnanam. That is discussed in chapter 13. And 15th onwards, you are taken to really the pinnacle of knowledge. And that is the time when you know that it is knowledge of the reality what will set you free, not by any activity. Because why we are feeling the separation from the God and why we will feel one with the God is all depend upon what we know about God. God and the world and ourselves, the relation should be known. This is what is being taught in the Upanishads. And then Gita is also quoting Upanishad many places to make us understand that it is not separate from the Upanishads, but it is a concise place where you can see all the Upanishads are brought in as a nectar for our success in life, and this life itself will become which we can get free. Even though we are eternally free, we feel that we are bound by the body and the mind and the intellect and the actions. But when we learn how to detach from all those things to our pure awareness nature, even when we are operating through the body, we know that we are not the body, not the intellect or any of those things. We are only a witness to it. And that state of witness will give you the freedom which otherwise you will not be able to know or be as a witness. This is the sum total of Bhagavad Gita. And that those who depend upon what you feel like you want to do, you can do. Yadechasi tada kuru. Whatever you feel like doing, please do it. Is the instruction which Krishna says to Arjuna. I have told you all the methods, all the truth and everything about life and death and the reality. Now you choose what is best for you and Godspeed. That's what he has said in the 18th chapter.
Thank you. Can I ask another question? Is there a time?
Prakash,
Could I ask one thing?
Yes, please do. Please, Kumar.
Oh, okay. Bindoji, ISKCON has its interpretation of Bhagavad Gita as it is, and it seems quite different from Shankaracharya, that school. So is it to read Bhagavad Gita as it is it okay? And other question is, and according to ISKCON, our aim is to go back to the Godhead. And my another question is, these things, spiritual world, Swarga, and Brahmaloka, Indraloka. So do these things really exist? And if they exist, where are they? Thank you.
I'll first and foremost say that reading Bhagavad Gita as it is not bad. If you have no knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, begin with that. But that is not the be-all and end-all. You have to know Bhagavad Gita in your terms. Don't accept whether it is Shankaracharya, Bhaktivedanta Prabhu, or Madhvacharya, or Raghavacharya, or anybody for that matter, or Sri Aurobindo, or Tilak, or Mahatma Gandhi, whoever it is. You have to find the meaning of Bhagavad Gita, what it matters to you. They all have written commentaries, how they felt and what it mattered to them. But that doesn't mean that it should be what you should be feeling about yourself. Every prescription is for the patient for whom it is being written. Bhagavad Gita is a prescription for life. And each one of us, as a patient, has to take it as it affects us in our life. So, the Bhagavad Gita with the Sanskrit meanings in Hindi, Malay, whatever language you want to, apart from each one of them are available. But when you are doing that, make sure that how it matters to you. What way is it going to impact you? How it is going to be useful to you? If it is not useful to you, let it be Bhagavad Gita or Upanishad or Brahma Sutra, whatever it is. You have to dump it in the dustbin. Because what is the use of such thing if it is not going to help you? Doesn't mean that I am not have respect for Shankaracharya or Bhagavad Gita or Krishna or anybody for that matter. My life is important to me. And my life, I want to be successful and free and be happy so that my happiness is not at the mercy of anything else. My happiness should be my own. When I decide that, the words from the Upanishad, Gita or Brahma Sutra or any other book, whether it be Bible or Quran or whatever it is, we have to take it how we are going to interpret it, and we are going to implicate ourselves and apply in our life. That is what is more important. So please do that. You may start with something, but don't see that that is the ultimate. That's my request to you. Now coming to the lokas measured, developed or mentioned in the Puranas are all poetic and methodologies to develop belief and, adherence to certain path. The lokas, as you know, the word Sanskrit is where the experiences are taking place. Lokyate is the word, root from where the loka word has come. Lokyate means to experience or to see or to experience, perceive. So the names of these lokas were given based on what we are experiencing. All the lokas are in this life, in your vicinity, when you are experiencing them. Don't go beyond that and think that there are places outside where you will be taken. No, this body is used only in this life, in this world, in this time zone, in this place. You have no other place where your experiences will be met with. That experiences what you are going through in this life, in this world, is exactly categorized as the other lokas by the Puranas. But they have, being a poetic in nature, they have added frills to it. Don't take the frills to be real, but they are only added for the purpose of making belief and following. Ganesh Prasad?
Just 1 second. Prakash, I sent you a message in WhatsApp if you'll take a look, please. And yeah, I wanted to give Ganesh a chance so he doesn't have to force his way back in. And then let's go in the order people came up. Also, Prasad, it's wonderful to have you up here. And just you jump in anytime you want. Ganesh?
Good evening, Bindoji.
Good evening.
I just wanted to share some of the things that we learned in the last class about the Aparokshanubhuti. Especially, I was fascinated by the different meanings that you made us aware of about the letter Shri. Shriyate, Svikriyate, and Shriyam Dadanam, and your mentioning of the Lakshmi. And then Shri Hari, you told at one point that one Shri Harati iti Shri Hari. When I was in the company of my Guruji, Shri was the most discussed one. I need some clarification in this. Shri Vidya is it's very popularly known as Yoga Bhoga Samanvaya, or even in the Sahasranama it comes Bhukti Mukti Pradayini, where both the Bhukti and Mukti are assured from this Shri Vidya. And in that case, in what way Shri is going to be destroyed by Hari? That is what is my question.
See, each one is for different aspect of the term Shri. Sri Hari, these two together, you have to take it as the one which is possessing Shri or the one which is destroying Shri. But Shri has got three different meanings. One is as auspiciousness. There is no representational, imaginary personality behind it. One who bestows auspiciousness is Sri Hari. That is the first and foremost thing. Second thing is that Sri is represented by Lakshmi, who is a bestower of wealth. Now, for a spiritual person, the wealth he is asking is the spiritual wealth. He is not interested in the ordinary wealth of Kamini Kanchana.
Yeah.
Therefore, Sri there is Mukti Pradayini, Vidya Pradayini, and Atma Vidya Pradayini. All these three, that is, one who bestows mukti or freedom, one who bestows on education or the learning. This way, if you take Shri, that Lakshmi which is representing that becomes the consort of Hari. He is the spouse, Lakshmi is the other spouse. And together they will bestow you the spiritual path where you will be successful. The third aspect of Shri as a feminine gender, Maya or Avidya, is taken as the feminine aspect of delusion. Feminine power to delude is well known in the world. Therefore, that aspect of delusion with which we are not able to see the truth and the ignorance which is giving us rise to the duality in the world, that one who harati means one who destroys that is the Srihari, the third meaning. So the third meaning, all the three are taken for different set of people who believes in each one of that. One who believes that it's only auspiciousness can take the first one. The second one, who is that what you said as the Vidya Pradayini, all those things, can take the second one. One who wants freedom from delusion, he can take the third meaning of it. This is how Vidyaranya has commented upon that.
Okay, it is the multiplicity of the meaning as usual in Sanskrit.
Yes, that's right.
Those interpretations. Okay. Okay, Binduji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ganesh Prasad.
Yeah, thank you, Ganesh. And just again, anyone, we do have plenty of time, so anyone who would like to come up and discuss with Binduji, please raise your hand.
Vinod had told me he want to make an announcement in the room. Is he there? I saw him coming.
Yes, he's there. I'll call him.
Just call him.
Vinodji, come up.
Is it possible to talk it?
Satya, just 1 minute.
No problem. Thank you. Take your time.
Yep. Yeah, you're next after Vinodji. Did you want to make an announcement?
Vinod, go ahead and make the announcement.
Yeah. So, we wanted to announce that, in the June, the weekend of 22nd, 23rd, we'll be meeting, we'll be having Binduji at my place in, near Mysore, 40 kilometers from Mysore. And he'll be basically over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He'll also be staying there for some more days. So, the idea is that, people can actually come and spend, 2 to 3 days there. So, this we are, we're going to have this kind of event, we can say, this retreat or whatever you want to call it as. So anybody who is interested, please, you'll have to contact me on my phone number, 9822267003. Just send a message and then I'll add you to the WhatsApp group. Then, we'll be announcing all the details there.
Vinodji, just at least, maybe not permanently, but during this room, could you put your phone in your profile so that if people couldn't catch it, they can be sure and be able to reach you?
Yeah, I'll put my phone number, I think. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I understand you wouldn't want it there all the time, but that'd be wonderful. Yeah, that's a fantastic opportunity. Unfortunately, I'm 8,000 miles away, but hopefully everyone will take opportunity if they can. Is that good, Vinodji? Can we go on with the discussion, or would you like to share more about that?
No, this is a brief announcement right now. The details we'll be giving you. Basically, it is near Mysore, 40 kilometers from Mysore. And from Bangalore, it's about 150 kilometers. And this will be on the weekend of 22nd, 23rd. And, we have sufficient place to stay and all. So we'll be making all other arrangements. So I'll be giving the details also later.
Excuse
Only
me,
thing, it's quite remote place. It's a village actually. So, we have to be self-sufficient basically. That's the only thing. So you'll have to probably have your own vehicle and things like that.
Vinodji, could you please tell me the village or the place name?
No, I'll add you to the group. Please send me your number. I'll add you to the group.
Sure,
Okay.
sure. Sure.
So I'll just share my number once more. Through my profile, I'll share it, okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Vinerji. Yeah, Satya, go ahead.
Okay, thank you for giving me the time. And my English is very poor because I don't have not much knowledge of English. So please, please, എന്നെ ക്ഷമിക്കണം. Okay, thank you. I'm really sorry. And one question,
No,
and only
well,
one question.
also, one
Yeah,
moment. Don't,
yeah.
we want to be sure that you're able to communicate what you want to Bindaji. So if you need to speak, not in English, it's okay. Bindaji will translate. So be sure that you express what you want to.
Okay. Thank you very much. അതായത് വിന്ദജ് നെക്സ്റ്റ് ഒന്ന് ട്രാൻസ്ലേറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം കേട്ടോ. എനിക്കിന്ന് അത്ര അറിയില്ല. അതുകൊണ്ടോ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് സ്കൂൾ ടീച്ചർമാരില്ല ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് ഒന്നും, അതുകൊണ്ട് കുറച്ച് പൂറായിട്ട് ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് വരാം. ഞാൻ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ വയ്ക്കാം. അതായത് ഇന്നത്തെ കാലത്ത് നമ്മളുടെ ഇന്നത്തെ കറണ്ട് സെഞ്ചുറിയിലുള്ള ഈ സംസ്കൃതവും പൗരാണിക കാലത്തുള്ള ആർഷഭാരത സംസ്കാര കാലത്തുള്ള സംസ്കൃതവും, അത് ഋഷിപ്രോക്തം എന്ന് പറയാം, ആ കാലത്തുള്ള സംസ്കൃതവും തമ്മിലുള്ള ഡിഫറൻസ് എന്തൊക്കെയാണ്? കാരണം ഇന്നത്തെ സംസ്കൃതത്തിൽ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാല് ഒരു വാക്കിന് തന്നെ പല തരത്തിലുള്ള മീനിങ്ങുകളുണ്ട്, അല്ലെ അർത്ഥങ്ങളുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ അതിനകത്ത് തന്നെ ഈ ചില ആളുകൾ ഇതിനെ ദുരുപയോഗം ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് വേദത്തിൽ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങള് ദുരുപയോഗം ചെയ്തിട്ട് അവരുടേതായിട്ടുള്ള വ്യാഖ്യാനങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിട്ട് ഇതിനെ കളിയാക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടും ഇത് സത്യമല്ല എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ട് ഇതിനെ എന്താ പറയാ വക്രീകരിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് സമൂഹത്തിനെ തെറ്റിദ്ധരിപ്പിച്ചിട്ട് പല രീതിയിലുള്ള പ്രൊപ്പഗണ്ടകളും ഈ പറയുന്ന പ്രൊആക്റ്റീവ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള സ്പീച്ചുകളും ഇറിറ്റേറ്റീവ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള സംഭാഷണങ്ങളും എല്ലായിടത്തും നടന്നുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. ഇതിനെ സംബന്ധിക്കുന്ന കാര്യത്തിൽ ബിന്ദോജിയുടെ അഭിപ്രായം എന്താണ്? എന്നോട് ക്ഷമിക്കണം, ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് അറിയാത്തതുകൊണ്ടാണ്, സോറി. താങ്ക് യു. ബിന്ദോജി കേട്ടായിരുന്നോ?
Bindaji, yeah, you're muted,
Okay,
Bindaji.
sorry. The question from Satya is that the Sanskrit which is in vogue now and the Sanskrit which is there in the Vedas and the Upanishads, is there any difference? If there is a difference, what is the difference? And the difference in the modern Sanskrit, which has got multiple meaning, is being misused by many those who want to abuse the Upanishads or the Vedas, or make a caricature of the words, giving wrong meaning, is seen and is being used by many people. So he wanted to know what is my take on that. For the purpose of the public, what I could translate this question is a summary of what he's asked. സത്യ, ഞാൻ ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ ഉത്തരം പറഞ്ഞ തെറ്റുണ്ടോ? മനസ്സിലാവുമോ?
ശ്രമിക്കാം. പറ്റുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ലാസ്റ്റ് മലയാളത്തിൽ പറഞ്ഞ ഉപകാരം. താങ്ക് യു.
Okay, so I'll answer in English. If you don't understand, let me know. I'll summarize in Malayalam. The language between the Vedic Sanskrit and the modern Sanskrit are based more or less, the framework is the same. Only thing is that both the Vedic Sanskrit and the modern Sanskrit, the meanings have not changed, but the construction has changed. The way in which Panini later put down the rules and regulations through his Ashtadhyayi, or the 4,000 verse mantras or the sutras, based on which the languages have been codified with the most modern, computer language type, so that any word can be built if you have the knowledge how to use these 4,000 mantras, sutras, not mantras, sutras. Because of which one verb has a potency to generate 2.35 million words, and there are totally 1,750 verbs in Sanskrit. So you can imagine 1,750 into 2.35 million. So many words can be generated with this. That is the existing word. Now, the modern words which are scientifically being developed by the scientific society are also possible to be codified and made into Sanskrit using the same 4,000 sutras. Therefore, the eternity of the grammar of Sanskrit is going to be everlasting. Now the question comes, has the old Vedas adhered to such a thing? Categorically, I will say no. But the 4,000 sutras have rules with which the ancient Vedic Sanskrit has been codified or categorized, whereby you cannot deviate from what has been written in the Vedas using the modern method. You have to adhere to the old one. So if anybody is twisting the Vedas with the modern Sanskrit without giving the reference and the grammatical methods in which it has been explained, that those explanations are not valid. But unfortunately what happens is that not many people know Sanskrit. So if somebody is using a wrong usage, they will not know whether he is wrongly interpreting the same Upanishadic mantras or the Vedic mantras, unless that is being challenged by a Sanskrit knowing person, one who is familiar and adept in the Sanskrit grammar. Therefore, those who are doing this painting black Sanskrit or the Vedas and the Vedic mantras are using Sanskrit thinking that they are the grammatical experts and taking the meaning out of context and giving a reference to that. They cannot succeed because that will not stand the test of grammar rules as well as the ancient rules under which the grammar, the words, the Vedas were pronounced or written. So there is no problem of this one. Only you have to take them to a real Sanskrit Pandit and their stand will be exposed. മനസ്സിലായോ സത്യം?
കുറേശ്ശെ മനസ്സിലായിട്ടുണ്ട്.
അതായത് സംസ്കൃതത്തിലെ റൂൾസ് പാണിനി ഉണ്ടാക്കിയത് അതിൽ വേദത്തിലുള്ള സംസ്കൃതവും കൂടി എങ്ങനെയാ ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ളത് എന്നുള്ളത് അതിൽ എഴുതിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. അപ്പോ ആ വേദത്തിലുള്ള മന്ത്രത്തിന്റെ നിയമങ്ങള് പാണിനി എഴുതിയിട്ടുള്ളത് ഉപയോഗിക്കാണ്ടാണ് ഒരാള് വേദത്തിനെ വ്യാഖ്യാനിക്കണെന്ന് വെച്ചാല് ആ വ്യാഖ്യാനം ശരിയല്ലെന്ന് ഈ വ്യാഖ്യാനങ്ങളെ പാണിനിയുടെ സൂത്രപ്രകാരം അറിയുന്ന ഒരാൾക്ക് മാത്രമേ അതിനെ ഖണ്ഡിക്കാൻ പറ്റൂ. അതുകൊണ്ട് എങ്ങനെയെങ്കിലും ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അയാളെ ഒരു സംസ്കൃത പണ്ഡിറ്റിന്റെ മുമ്പിൽ കൊണ്ട് നിർത്തുക എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അയാൾ ഓടിപ്പോയിക്കോളും. കാരണം അയാൾക്കറിയാം അയാളുടെ പൊങ്ങച്ചം പുറത്താവും എന്നുള്ളത്. അതുകൊണ്ട് മനസ്സിലായോ?
ഓക്കെ, പിടികിട്ടി. എന്താ കാരണം വെച്ചാല് മലയാളത്തിൽ പറയാൻ ശ്രമിക്കണം. കാരണം വെച്ചാല് പിന്നെ ഈ നമ്മുടെ സംസ്കൃതം തന്നെ ഇപ്പൊ സിന്ധുവയുടെ സംസ്കാരമുള്ളതിന്റെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ ഈറ്റില്ലോ. അപ്പൊ അന്നത്തെ കാലം മുതൽ ഇപ്പൊ ഈ ഡിഗ് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാലും ചരിത്രപരമായിട്ടും അന്നത്തെ കാലത്തെ ജിയോഗ്രഫി എങ്ങനെ നമുക്കറിയില്ല. പിന്നെ ഈ കാലത്തുള്ള ജിയോഗ്രഫി മാറിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. പിന്നെ ഈ ഡിഗ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ള ഹിസ്റ്റോറിക്കൽ എവിഡൻസുകളും നമുക്ക് കുറെ നഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടു പോയിട്ടുണ്ടാവും. അപ്പൊ ഇങ്ങനെ ഈ 2-3 ഇതായിട്ട് ഈ പറയുന്ന രീതിയിൽ കമ്പയർ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഇതിനകത്തുള്ള സംസ്കൃതത്തിൽ തന്നെ ഇപ്പൊ എത്രയോ 2-3 വകഭേദങ്ങളായിട്ടുണ്ടെന്നാണ് പറഞ്ഞു കേട്ടിട്ടുള്ളത്. അപ്പൊ അതിനകത്ത് ഇതിനെ സംബന്ധിച്ച് റിസർച്ച് നടക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ അതോ ഇത് എന്തെങ്കിലും ക്ലാരിഫിക്കേഷൻസ് ഉണ്ടോ? ലേറ്റസ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള അപ്ഡേറ്റഡ് ആയിട്ട് എന്തെങ്കിലും ക്ലാരിഫിക്കേഷൻ കിട്ടിയിട്ടുണ്ടോ? അത് മാത്രം എനിക്ക് ചോദിക്കുള്ളൂ, വേറെ ഒന്നും ചോദിക്കില്ല. താങ്ക് യു. ഓം നമഃ ശിവായ.
ഇല്ല, അതിൻ്റെതായിട്ടുള്ള ഇങ്ങനത്തെ ക്ലാരിഫിക്കേഷൻസ് ഈ ഗവേഷകന്മാര് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. അതിലൊരു ഒരു നിയമം ശരിയായിട്ട് അവർക്ക് ഇതേവരെ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റിയിട്ടില്ല. കാരണം നമുക്ക് നമ്മുടെ ഇന്ത്യൻ പ്രകാരം നമ്മള് കോപ്പിറൈറ്റോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആരാണ് ഇതിന്റെ എഴുതിയിട്ടുള്ളതോ എന്നും നമ്മൾ അത്ര ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് കൊടുത്തിരുന്നില്ല. കാരണം വേദങ്ങളിൽ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ളത് ആത്മനാമം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പല വിധത്തിലുള്ളത് ഒരാളും ഒന്നിന്റെയും എന്നാ പറയാ അതിന്റെ ഓണർഷിപ്പ്, അതായത് അതിന്റെ നമ്മുടെ സ്വന്തമാക്കാൻ ശ്രമിക്കരുത്. എല്ലാ അറിവും വേദത്തിന്റെയാണ്, വൈദികമായിട്ടുള്ളതാണ്, ഈശ്വര പ്രോക്തമാണ്. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഇതിനാർക്കും സ്വന്തമാണെന്ന് പറയാനുള്ള അധികാരമില്ല. അതുകൊണ്ട് ആരും ഇതിനെ പറ്റിയിട്ട് ഞാൻ എഴുതിയതാണെന്ന് എവിടെ എഴുതി വെച്ചിട്ടില്ല. അതുകൊണ്ട് ശാസ്ത്രജ്ഞന്മാർക്കും ഗവേഷകന്മാർക്കും കണ്ടുപിടിക്കാനുള്ള ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുണ്ട്. ആ ഒരു ബുദ്ധി കൊണ്ടാണ് നമ്മുടെ ശാസ്ത്രത്തിൽ ഇങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു അവസ്ഥ വന്നിട്ടുള്ളത്. ഓക്കെ,
Okay, thank you.
yeah. So his question was there enough evidence in finding out who is the author, or in what way this authorship of the Vedas etc. can be divided or defined. So my answer was that in the system of Indian system, educational system or Indian knowledge system, the knowledge is attributed to Brahman or Atma or Ishvara. Everything comes from there. The knowledge comes from the knowledge itself. We are only instruments in using the knowledge. Therefore, nobody will take copyright or ownership of the knowledge. And therefore, the ancient rishis onwards, everybody has made it as a practice never to take authorship or ownership of their contribution to the knowledge system. And therefore, the modern archaeologists or modern historians are finding it difficult to make a link between the different names. And moreover, India had same people using the same names for multiple people. For example, Vyasa, there are so many Vyasas. Janaka, there are 54 Janakas in the ancient scriptures. Like that, if you look at the name is the same, but there are multiple people having the same name. So who is the real one? And nobody takes a claim of that. Therefore, there is a confusion among the historians and the other people to identify who is the real author of it. And unlike the West, where the authorship and the copyright is very important, India never believes in that, because the knowledge belongs to the one who created the knowledge itself. Therefore, the knowledge can never be owned by anybody else. They can only propagate the knowledge, never own the knowledge as their own.
Thank you very much, Satya. It really comes across that you're very sincere, so please feel welcome. And we shouldn't try to impose English on everybody, or the world would be a much smaller place. So let's see. Srini, you're next, but I did want to just say happy Clubhouse birthday to Yesh, because he's always been an important part of our group. Srini, please go ahead and whatever you have.
Yeah, namaste Bindaji, namaste all.
Namaste, Srini.
So I think my question is slightly on the lines of what Ganesh ji asked only, but I don't know, I just wanted to confirm if it's the same or not in your view. Because in all the Mangala shlokas, the common theme seems to be the Paramatma is described both as the Guru and Ishvara. So how to reconcile this thing of Guru and Ishvara, because they both seem to be having two different duties or actions or effects, right? So what do you, like, in your point of view, how to reconcile that, Binduji? Like for example, why not write the shloka only on the Guru, or why they bring in the Ishvara aspect?
Well, the commentary by Swami Vidyaranya has never deviated from the Guru aspect of it. He is bringing the Guru aspect in the three directions. The auspiciousness a spiritual seeker will look for is the spiritual experience itself. So the one who bestows auspiciousness is in the form of a guru, because he is only the one who is pratyaksha for you or immediately available for transmitting the knowledge. So Sri Hari is none other than the guru himself. He is in the form of guru. Sri Hari himself is coming, is what one way of looking at it. The Lakshmi or Vidya Pradayini, or that one who is bestowing education or the knowledge as a teacher. So that is also again the method in which we discussed it. Here, instead of auspiciousness, it is knowledge what we are talking about. And the third one is knowledge cannot be directly imparted, because the knowledge which we are talking about is not knowledge of the Upanishad or the book. The knowledge is our very nature, which is getting clouded or covered due to ignorance or doubt or wrong knowledge. So the only way the knowledge can be enjoyed by us, our own nature of knowledge can be enjoyed by us only when the three, the ignorance, doubt, and the wrong knowledge which is there in our mind is eradicated. A guru, what he does is not, he doesn't impart knowledge. He removes the cloud from the knowledge shining itself. Asya vasa sarvam idam vibhati. In the light of that knowledge of the self-knowledge or the atma-jnana, or the knowledge of the pure self or the consciousness, that is where the right knowledge is known, not in the form of names and forms. And when it is in the names and forms, is where our ignorance, doubt, and wrong knowledge colludes our real knowledge. So from that point of view, he is a guru who is an eradicator of ignorance. So all the three are guru form only. But the word Sri Hari is being used not as the Sri Hari of Lakshmipati. Here the Sri Hari is the guru himself. That is why Sri Harim Paramanandam, he is the nature of Paramanandam. Upadeshtaram, that the word the guru has come there. Who can be an Upadeshtaram? Only a guru can do the Upadesha. Therefore, Upadeshtaram is Sarvalokanam. That word Sarvalokanam, all the world, has to be taken two ways. Karanam Sarvalokanam, Upadeshtaram Sarvalokanam. Both can be taken. He is the instructor or the teacher for the whole world, or he is the cause for the whole world. Means it is his desire to become the world, not your and mine. Therefore, we have to give that Sarvalokanam Karanam, Tam Namamyaham. To such a person, whether it is Guru or Sri Hari, to him is my prostrations or my Namami.
Beautiful. Thank you, Binduji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Srini. We still have about a half hour. If there are more things that people would like to bring up to discuss, then please feel free to share your mind with all of us. That would be wonderful.
Those who are around Bangalore, Mysore, please get in touch with Vinod so that we can meet. I have seen you all in Clubhouse, but nothing like meeting you in person. But those who are not able to make it, we will continue to meet through the Clubhouse. But I'll be continuing the classes and the Q&A from Mysore.
Bindoji, I am very happy to say that I am Mysorean, but unfortunately I am working at a place 400 kilometers away from Mysore, but I have been overwhelmed to say that to listen to Vinodji that you are visiting Mysore, and I'll make it a point surely this time. Last time I missed when you were all meeting with Prashantji. who had come from America, and you had the satsang for over a period of 3 days. I missed it. This time I should make it a point that I must meet you. Thank you, Bindoji.
Thank you. Thank you, Ganesh Prasad.
And one more thing, today's explanation that you gave, I don't know, many a time I write certain poems or some songs where I had written this thing. I shouldn't say that I had written. It came out in that mood of that devotional mood. Guru Hari Narayana Nimbo Arivire. If you have the consciousness of Guru, Hari and Narayana are one and the same, then the moksha is Karatala Malaka, it becomes. So I am reminded of that thing. I am just getting overwhelmed with that meaning. Thank you, Bindoji.
Thank you so much, Ganesh.
So it seems like maybe there are no questions. Everyone has a totally satisfied, empty mind. Also, before we would close, if there is no more discussion wanted, if anyone would like to, or even Ganesh, if you want to share your whole poem, if anyone has something that they've written before that they'd like to share, more of in a satsang spirit. Otherwise, we would go ahead and close. So last call if anyone would like to share or ask.
I have a question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Ganesh, please go. Ganesh, you're unmuted.
Yeah, go ahead, Ganesh.
You please go ahead. I'll just share whatever comes to me in that poem that I had written. It is. I'll say it afterwards. You please go ahead, Prakashji.
Thank you, Ganesh. So, Bindoji, the question is about paroksha and aparoksha. So can you tell us a little bit more about those two? The meaning and how they relate to each other, paroksha and aparoksha.
The word paroksha, aksha means sense organs. Paroksha means beyond sense organs, which means it is not in the direct perception range of my sense organs, which includes the mind. Because even the happiness and sorrow, etc., in our mind is perceived by us through the mind. So that is also a pratyaksha or a direct perception. But what is paroksha is knowledge coming to me from other sources or other means, like inference, examples, or what you call assuming due to conditions which are giving rise to information, and verified because it cannot be negated. Arthapati, postulation, that's what they said. Then the negative of these two, that is anupalabdhi, where we do not have the information, but we know that we don't have the information. That is also a knowledge. And the last one is through the medium of sound by somebody else, either the teacher or a person of authority. When he makes a verbal instruction, we have knowledge of the instruction or the information. We do not know it directly, the information, the source of it, the object of it. But we accept the statement by such people, the preceptor, the teacher, or a person of authority. When they make a statement, even though we are not in any means able to know the reality, we accept it as a reality because we don't doubt their verbal statements. They are people who speak truth and they are people who stand for truth. Satyavad. So Satyam Vada, those who speak truth. So such knowledge are taken as means of Paroksha. So other than direct perception, the inference, etc., up to the is called Paroksha. But in the case of sound, it has a potency to generate a knowledge about ourselves, not anything outside us, something which we do not know. But when we hear the words, we accept it and we have a knowledge which is as good as direct perception. For example, somebody's wife is pregnant and she is ready to give birth to a child. But for some reason, the person is not near the wife and he is being told by either a phone call or somebody saying that your wife has delivered, it's so-and-so's child, the boy or girl. And you have become a father. That statement that you have become a father is a direct knowledge for him due to the conditions under which the knowledge has come. This is an example of Aparoksha Jnana. In the case of Aparoksha Anubhuti text, Anubhuti itself is an experience. An experience which is immediate and direct for us through the words in the book, whereby we come to know the experience which we are having even this very moment, but we do not know it, is being brought to our attention to see it as our own experience of ourselves. We are experiencing it. Every experience is showing us that through the consciousness, through the awareness that our nature is awareness, pure awareness, existence awareness. But we do not have the knowledge of that because our mind is preoccupied every time with the name and form of the object which we are experiencing. When we are the subject, there is no object. That time, how does the experience of the subject is in the consciousness of the subject is what is exposed by the teaching of the book or the Upanishad. And when it is being taught by a teacher, we drop the dependency of the mind on the names and forms, and the mind, which is the seat of experience and awareness, without the content in it, is experiencing itself. That ultimate experience is what is called the aparokshanubhuti. So the paroksha and aparoksha are two different kinds. One is of objects which is other than us, but aparoksha is always about us. And that is the difference between the paroksha and aparoksha.
Thank you. Thank you, Binduji. Thank you. We still have 15 minutes, I think, if anybody wants to come up and ask a question. Stage is still available. I think Ganesh had to leave. I think maybe he's adjusting his microphone. Ganesh is back.
Okay, Ganesh, did you want to ask or speak again? Otherwise, we'll close. But
Yeah.
if you want to use your poem.
Yeah. I'll just
So,
tell the gist of the poem that I had written. It just says, Binduji,
Yes.
Tanumana dhanagala arpisi hariyolu. You have to dedicate or just put at the feet of Lord Hari all Tanumana and Dhana, and that is what you do as Naivedya to that Lord, O man. That is the Pallavi of that song. And then it moves on. Before the Lord of Bhur Bhuvasva Lokas, the whole world is moving with the concept of I, the Aham. Dhavisutde Jagata Tanindu. That means I becomes everything for the whole humanity before the Lord, and he must be laughing at us. And only with his grace, this entire earth is moving with levity and without troubling anybody. But oh man, you are all the time greedy of owning this world, this earth. So sacrifice all that, including I, as your Naivedya to the Lord. And the next one moves like Nela Jala Gali Galire Saridukshi. There is an equilibrium maintained by earth element and the water element and the air. They have brought the balance in this life, but you simply are trying to move away from this equilibrium state and exploring the chances of landing on moon or sun or Mars like this. And you don't know the Guru, Hari, Narayana. All the three are one and the same. And once you realize that Guru, Hari and Narayana are one and the same, and just sacrifice everything that goes with your I, and the Lord's feet is Karatala Malaka, that is at your own hands, and you are not realizing this. This is what I had written, Binduji, and if the time permits, I can sing it out. It is in Kannada, but if you permit me, I can sing it out.
no, please do that. And I just want to acknowledge, many people may not know you, Ganesh, from over the years, just your connection and facility with literature in different languages, and so I take your poetry pretty seriously. So, and your songs. So, if you would please do that, so that we can hear it the way it's supposed to be.
Thank you, Artemisia.
ತನುಮನ ಧನಗಳ ಅರ್ಪಿಸಿ ಹರಿಯೋಳು ತನು ಮನ ಧನಗಳ ಅರ್ಪಿಸಿ ಹರಿಯೊಳು ನಿನ್ನ ನೈವೇದ್ಯವ ನೀಡೋ ಮನುಜ. ತನು ಮನ ಧನಗಳ ಅರ್ಪಿಸಿ ಹರಿಯೊಳು ನಿನ್ನ ನೈವೇದ್ಯವ ನೀಡೋ ಮನುಜ. ತನು ಮನ ಧನಗಳ ಅರ್ಪಿಸಿ ಹರಿಯೊಳು ನಿನ್ನ ನೈವೇದ್ಯವ ನೀಡೋ ಮನುಜ. ಭೂರ್ಭುವ ಸುವಗಳ ಒಡೆಯನ ಮುಂದೆ, ಭೂರ್ಭುವ ಸುವಗಳ ಒಡೆಯನ ಮುಂದೆ ಧಾವಿಸುತ್ತಿದೆ ಜಗ ತಾನೆಂದು. ಭೂರ್ಭುವ ಸುವಗಳ ಒಡೆಯನ ಮುಂದೆ ಧಾವಿಸುತ್ತಿದೆ ಜಗ ತಾನೆಂದು. ಒಡೆಯನ ಕೃಪೆಯೊಂದಿರೆ, ಒಡೆಯನ ಕೃಪೆಯೊಂದಿರೆ ತಿರೆ ಹಗುರಾಗೆ. ಒಡೆಯನ ಕೃಪೆಯೊಂದಿರೆ ತಿರೆ ಹಗುರಾಗೆ. ಜಗದೊಡೆತನಕ್ಕೆ ಮರುಳಾಗಿ ಹೇಯೋ, ಜಗದೊಡೆತನಕ್ಕೆ ಮರುಳಾಗಿ ಹೇಯೋ. ತನು ಮನ ಧನಗಳ ಅರ್ಪಿಸಿ ಹರಿಯೊಳು ನಿನ್ನ ನೈವೇದ್ಯವ ನೀಡೋ ಮನುಜ. ನೆಲ ಜಲ ಗಾಳಿಗಳಿರೆ ಸರಿದೂಗಿಸಿ, ನೆಲ ಜಲ ಗಾಳಿಗಳಿರೆ ಸರಿದೂಗಿಸಿ ಕೆಣಕುವೆಯೇತಕ್ಕೆ ರವಿತಾರೆಗಳನ್ನು. ನೆಲ ಜಲ ಗಾಳಿಗಳಿರೆ ಸರಿದೂಗಿಸಿ ಕೆಣಕುವೆಯೇತಕ್ಕೆ ರವಿತಾರೆಗಳನ್ನು. ಗುರು ಹರಿನಾರಾಯಣ ನಾರಾಯಣ ನಾರಾಯಣ. ಗುರು ಹರಿ ನಾರಾಯಣ. ಗುರು ಹರಿನಾರಾಯಣನೆಂಬ ಅರಿವಿರೆ, ಗುರು ಹರಿನಾರಾಯಣನೆಂಬ ಅರಿವಿರೆ. ಕರಕೆಟಕುವ ಫಲ ಹರಿಪದವು, ಗುರು ಹರಿನಾರಾಯಣನೆಂಬ ಹರಿವಿರೆ. ಕರಕೆಟಕುವ ಫಲ ಹರಿಪದವು. ತನು ಮನ ಧನಗಳ ಅರ್ಪಿಸಿ ಹರಿಯೊಳು ನಿನ್ನ ನೈವೇದ್ಯವ ನೀಡೋ ಮನುಜ. ನಿನ್ನ ನೈವೇದ್ಯವ ನೀಡೋ ಮನುಜ. ನಿನ್ನ ನೈವೇದ್ಯವ ನೀಡೋ ಮನುಜ.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, thank you, Ganesh. So, very, very much thank you. Jesse wrote something in the chat, and I'm thinking that we would be pressed on time now. She just reminded that Prakash had asked you to speak about a little bit about your own path, Bindo, but we wanted to do it when we had enough people present that, because I know you don't like repeating things. Do you want to do that and extend on, or do you want to go ahead and close and do that on another day, Bindo? Because I did close hand raising for today.
I leave it to you and Prakash. decide whatever you want. It's okay for me either way.
Well, it's up to you if you want to where your energy's at, because you'll probably go over, and then we wouldn't open it to questions about it today. So I kind of think maybe it'd be better to do it when people could also talk with you about this, but it's your decision.
It's
Prakash,
okay. I mean, I can extend some more time if somebody wants to.
sounds like you're saying you'd like to go ahead and talk today. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so we'll let Binduji speak, but then we'll also open up hand raising afterwards, just specifically if anyone wants to talk to him about what he's sharing about himself, because it's a rare opportunity. Thank you, Binduji.
Prakash, you have this thing what I sent you across, no? You have a copy of it?
Yes, Binduji. Shall I read it?
Yeah, please read that.
Yes. I think you've been talking quite a bit from, I think, 7 o'clock IST, so it's been a while. So I'll read. Yes, definitely.
Almost 3 hours now.
Yes. So this is a short introduction that Binduji had provided for a group in Malayalam, which is called Velichapad Vedantam. And Velichapad is a kind of a god figure, a human figure, who's a protector of the forests and the Kavu. There is a tradition in Kerala called Kavu. And Velichapade and Kavu and the agrarian societies are all linked. So this group has been running for many years, and every year we kind of get together and have a month-long celebration, which is called Jnanotsavam, celebration of wisdom. And Binduji happens to be one of the first speakers in this year's. This is the 4th year. And as we all know, COVID was one of the big things that pushed Clubhouse into the digital space. So with that context, I will share what Binduji had shared about his early life and how he transited through his career and then now where he is. So Binduji was, his actual name is Aurobindo Pandit. And when Binduji's father was in Aurobindo Ashram, which is now in a town called Puducherry or Pondicherry, that's where, Binduji was born in the vicinity, and that region is called Madras, and now it's called Chennai. So just south of Chennai is where Aurobindo Ashram is, and that's where Binduji's father was visiting and around that time. And so that's how he got his name, Aurobindo and Bindo. So that is a little bit of history about the name. But after that small time during the early birth, I think Binduji's family moved to Guruvayur, which is on the west coast. So Chennai is on the east coast of India, in the peninsular India, and this is on the west coast. So it's very close to a town called Thrissur. And Guruvayur is a prominent temple there. And so Binduji and in his family, they were near Guruvayur. And there, Guruvayur is the temple for the child version of Krishna. So, and there, listening to what is called Bhagavata Saptaham, which is the Bhagavatam, and the Bhagavad Gita and the stories of Krishna. And this was all through the storytelling mode of Binduji's grandmother. And grandmother tells stories, and Binduji and many other children most likely were listening to all this. And that was his early part of the life. And then when schooling started, he went into schooling in a small town called Manjeri nearby. And then after the schooling period, which is where you get a lot of your intellect, developing. And then he joined a mechanical engineering program in NSS Palakkad, which is a college, an engineering college. So during this mechanical engineering phase, or the first year, Bindoji had the opportunity to listen to Swami Chinmayananda. And Bindoji was immediately, almost very soon, made the founding secretary of Chinmaya Yuva Kendra, which is the child wing of Chinmaya. Kendra means school or education. So in the meantime, as he was going through this transition of, with Swami Chinmayananda's mission and the Yuva Kendra, he completed his degree, engineering degree, but he also joined an ashram called Sandipani Ashram. Sandipani Ashram, and that was for a period of 2.5 years, where he got more of a dedicated, what is called as a brahmachari course. And there he studied under that tutelage for 2.5 years. So instead of joining the mission and continuing down the path of brahmacharya and sannyasa, Bindoji chose to continue his studies in the evening with reference to the Chinmaya mission and the spiritual path. But he also continued his career track with his degree and on. And in the meantime, he also listened to many lectures and was also deeply engaged in reading and learning the method of bhashyas and Sanskrit and the meaning and the interpretation, along with many other Swami, many other teachers, and some of whom he has listed: Swami Dayananda Saraswati, Swami Harinamananda Saraswati, Swami Krishnananda Saraswati of Divine Life Society, and he also studied Prasthanatrayi Shankara Bhashyas under Swami Kaivalyananda. So this was a deep learning phase where he was transitioning into his work life, career life, family life. And in the meantime, he got married. He was a normal householder. He had one daughter. But throughout this phase, Advaita was the guiding, principle through which he kept his deep study and practice of Advaita. And in his own words, he says, "This has helped me to weather many a tsunamis in life with faith and conviction. And now, after retirement, I'm dedicated to spreading this knowledge, which has helped me in my life for the benefit of those who are interested." And there ends the bio. But now we know his acute focus, sharp focus on how he would approach this. And so this is the brief introduction that we have of Bindoji's trajectory through his journey of life, Advaita, and now this. I don't know if you can call it post-retirement, because this is a huge endeavor to come and teach all of us. I would assume that there's a lot of time that is being put in to come up with these clear frameworks which last for at least an hour of every Wednesday and Friday. And the questions are not just simply trivially answered. They come with very deep insight. So if you've been with this room, you'll know that there's a lot of thought being put in. So on that note, I'll open the forum if somebody wants to ask anything about Bindoji's journey, or his teachers, or because I'm sure that if you know about these, you might be wanting to know more. Yeah.
So as
Thank
long
you.
as we have this opportunity, thank you so much, Prakash. That was perfect that you did that, because you were in the full other room, which those of us who only or don't, well, who wouldn't have understood because of the language. So that's wonderful. Hand raising's open, but Bindoji, if you don't mind, I'd like to take this in a slightly different direction, because I've heard you speak about things very occasionally. And the story that Prakash just told is a very typical kind of autobiographical story. But I can say that for me, those aren't the important things that I know about you, and they aren't even the important things I know about your life. Let me just give a couple examples, and then I'd ask you to either expand on these or give other examples. So one thing that happens in a spiritual path is that things don't always turn out the way we have them planned. They happen by chance. So I remember you mentioning that when you went to those first talks, uh, um, before you came into the Chinmayananda organization, you said you were like leaning on the wall at the back of the room or something, smoking a cigarette, and that he kind of singled you out and recognized you. It was sort of this unplanned way in which you kind of fell in. I think you even mentioned that at the time you might have been an atheist. Can you expand on a little bit how you actually fell in? I know it's funny, isn't it, Prakash? How you actually fell into that relationship, because I don't think you expected to. So that's my first example, and I have a couple others. I hope you don't mind.
No, I don't mind. Well, typical of all teenagers, no, or those who are moving out of teenage into adolescence or adulthood, we are always rebels. I'm not finding fault with that. Because I have gone through that. So that phase was there where I have questioned the rituals and the belief in God and all those things. And I even asked that, how can be a person there or anything there outside the whole thing and controlling. And if he is the one who has done the creation and all, how can he have disparity between one to another? And some people are good, some people are rich, some people are poor, some people starve. Why can there be these things? So that was my atheist mind which was working at that time. And as I listened to Swami Chinmayananda the first time, as you rightly what I told you, I was with another friend of mine from the college, and both of us were having cigarette and trying to almost make fun of the Swami because he was in ochre robe and trying to talk about Gita. But then my mind was listening to what is being told rather than my friend was wanting to, make joke and fun about the Swami. That it didn't go well with me because I was more getting attracted to the topic rather than the ambience and the attire and the way in which he was presenting himself. And it's a 10-day lecture series in which he was doing this 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And morning he was taking the Taittiriya Upanishad, which we just completed. So the first day, the Taittiriya Upanishad had not started, only the Gita had started. So when he did that Gita, I was on the last of the row and leaning onto the wall of the compound and listening to him. There were more than about 500 to 800 people sitting and listening to Swami before. You can see I was in the last side along with my friend. But I felt that he was looking at me at that time. And I told my friend that it looked like he has seen us both smoking. So I said, okay, I won't smoke. My friend said, okay, I'll continue to smoke. I said, you go ahead. But somehow the topic was so much that when they announced that next day morning, 6 o'clock, he's going to take Taittiriya Upanishad second chapter. Only second chapter. I was not knowing what is Taittiriya Upanishad, what is the second chapter, etc. at that time. This was in 1973. So next day morning, without any prompt from my mother or anything, I got ready, had my shower and went there, and I was sitting and listening to Taittiriya Upanishad. And morning class, there were hardly about 50 to 60 people. That's all. So it was a small crowd, and my regularity for the next 9 days was noticed by Swami Chinmayananda himself, which made him on the last day, when he was making the office bearers for the mission there in Palakkad, the youth wing. Yuva Kendra means the youth wing for the Chinmaya Mission, for the purpose of study, discussion, and conducting, camps, etc., was the function of the Yuva Kendra, and bringing more youngsters into the, interest of teaching. He didn't wink an eye, straight away pointed to me and asked me and told, "You," by his index finger at me. So I looked at my side, whether it is to me or somebody else. So he said, "Don't look here and there. I'm talking to you." He identified me with my attire. So I had to stand up and go there. So when he asked me to come near him, I went near him. He asked me, "What's your name?" So I said, "Aravind." So the way in which I pronounced my name, he immediately understood it is the same as that of Pondicherry Aurobindo. "Oh, so you are Aurobindo?" I said, "No, Swamiji, I am Aravind. There is no O to this thing." "Doesn't matter." That's the way he says, no? His pronunciation is like, "Doesn't matter. You are Aurobindo for me." That's the way he said that.
I just have to say that's a really good imitation of his voice for those who you don't know. Go ahead, Bindo.
And you are going to be the secretary for this Yuva Kendra, and you can select the other office bearers. And then that was it. That was a small, discussion or my close encounter with him. After that, I left my smoking. I never took up cigarette. I was full flame into the activities of the mission. The seniors were there, those who are elders, they were discussing about the teaching of Atma Bodha, Tattva Bodha, books, Prakarana Granthas, and we got involved. Like that, I was full-time busy in the activity. At the same time, engineering college going parallelly. But as soon as I finished my engineering college, I told my parents that I want to go to Bangalore and be with Swami Harinamananda, who had in between come and has conducted one yajna or one Gita class for 10 days in Palakkad on this thing. So I became close to him. Incidentally, he is the one who is the husband of Nitya ji here. So I went to his place where he is staying, that was 16 St. John's Road that time. And I stayed with him for almost 2 months because I was waiting for my results to come after the final year. So closer to the date when my result came, my parents sent a telegram. Those days telephones were not there. So they sent a telegram to that address, and I knew that I have passed in flying colors with distinction. So I had to go back to Palakkad, and I told my Swamiji that I'm going back, and came back to Palakkad. And my sister and her husband were working in Bombay, so my parents told me to go to Bombay and look for a job. So I was happy to go to Bombay because I knew Chinmayananda Swami's headquarters were in Bombay, Santipani Ashram in Powai. So I came to Bombay to my sister, and then I became a regular visitor to the ashram. Then that time, Swami Harinamananda, who was the Bangalore in charge, was shifted and made in charge of the Santipani Bombay also. So I got again with him again once more. And then Swamiji told me you can stay in the ashram and go for your work. Because my factory, where I was working, Crompton Greaves, was very next to that ashram. So I shifted from my sister's place to the ashram and started going to the factory. I purposefully selected going for the night shift so that I can be there in the factory by 10 o'clock in the night until 7 o'clock in the morning. I worked in the factory. And 7 o'clock I come back to the ashram And then I was working in the ashram for helping the library, rearranging the books. And whenever there is Chinmayananda Swami coming and taking a class or a thing, I used to attend that. And they announced that a batch of brahmacharis are being recruited for the mission, and those who want to study that for 2.5 years can join. So without telling my mother and father, because I know they won't agree for it, I resigned my job and joined it. After joining, I informed my parents. So my mother was upset. She wanted me to not pursue this, mission activities, take up a normal employment and family, etc. I continued my 2.5 years study there, and then I thought that one is my parents don't like it. Second thing is I also found that becoming a missionary and doing the work in the ashram will not give me my own way of studying and knowing the truth, because it was more of regulated way in which you have to operate. Every mission has got, whether it's a Christian mission or a Ramakrishna mission or Chinmaya mission, they have set rules and regulations, and I didn't want to be part of that. So I took permission from Swami Harinavananda and left and took up a job where I am now in Baroda. Incidentally, that is the place where I met my would-be wife and we got married, and then continued my studies in the evening, listening to, because my wife's parents are also were members of the Chinmaya mission. So so my wife also didn't have any problem on me pursuing Advaita in the evenings and studying and all that. That's why I was lucky enough to continue my Advaita study throughout my life. It's all, as I tell you, it's all the grace of Atma or Brahman, which is there in my life, because of which I am what I am today.
Okay, so I know we're going long, but you're the one who said that you wanted to do this now, and it's a rare opportunity. So I have another thing that I'd love you to talk about, and that is, so how did you maintain your relationship with Haridas, and how did, because he was still with the mission, I believe, at that time, but then also I wonder, secondly, about the effect on you of when he chose to leave the Chinmayananda mission also himself. I think he had been there 20 years or something. I may have this a little wrong, but I'd love to hear about this, because I think it has to do with really being sensitive to the inner direction that comes to us on how to go forward.
Well, that was the time when there were a lot of issues in the mission, with Swami Dayananda wanting to leave and Swami Harinavananda wanting to leave. And as we were the students, we were also affected by these breakups that were happening inside the mission, which Swami Dayananda started the Arsha Vidya Gurukula system and started his own mission separately. And Harinavananda, being a soft person and not cut out for competition and rat race, and he's more intellectual person, he decided that to continue with the mission in spite of the fact that he has taken an ochre robe. He decided to leave the mission and leave his ochre robe and take his earlier name as Haridas, and he was like a elder brother to me all through. whether he was in Bangalore or later in Bombay. So he had very clear, that love and affection to me, which made him give me direction from his own viewpoint, but he left it to me to decide. And I was unable to make a decision at that time because I knew that he is also going to leave. He's also going to leave his ochre robe. And I felt that I should not make a mistake like he has done by taking into the mission and becoming a sannyasi there, later repent or feel that, no, I made a wrong movement or wrong step or anything like that. So I took permission from him and went to Himalayas. And I was staying in the Uttarakashi ashram of Chinmaya Mission, where Swami Chinmayananda's guru, Swami Tapovanam, had a mud hut, which has now become a what you call a special place with mission developing that area for accommodation, etc. So it is known as Tapovan Kutir, means the hut meant of Swami Tapovan. So I spent Shivaratri there. I was meditating in that room and asking the guru of Chinmayananda to give me a mental courage to take the right direction. As I got the signal very clear, I was coming down and I have heard about Swami Krishnananda of Divine Life Society in the Rishikesh. So I went into Divine Life Society to meet him. Unfortunately, I could not meet him because he had a lecture that day in Delhi and he had gone to Delhi. So I could not meet him. Fate would have taken a different turn if I had met him. And if he had said, you don't be in Chinmaya Mission, you would be here with me in the Divine Life Society, I would have done that. But the fate, or by the rule of the nature, was that I should be doing something else. Therefore, Swami Krishnananda was not present in Rishikesh. I came back to Bombay, and by that time Swami Harinanda had gone. I met Swami Chinmayananda and told him my decision that I am also leaving the mission. I don't want to continue that. He said that I don't stop you from your decisions, but as an advice, pursue your studies. One day you will realize the truth and you will be able to guide people. Whether you wear an ochre robe or a white robe, or you wear a patterned shirt, or you walk naked, doesn't matter. As long as you have realized what is the truth given by the Upanishads. And he wished me all the best and let me go from there. That is when I left the mission and came to Baroda.
Yeah, that's very beautiful. I think my view is that it's really important to have the kind of courage to do other than what our parents or our society expects when we can really tell that we trust that we're in line with some sort of wisdom. No one has raised their hand, and I'm going to ask you another question or two then. Can you, I don't know what you would say, but can you say anything more, or do you want to say anything more about your relationship with Haridas and what it means to be outside an institution and not be doing anything artificial, but really recognize still being in some sort of a guru-shishya relationship of sorts.
As I told, I always looked upon him as my elder brother. I was always respecting him and giving as a guru, and who has given me the, insight into the teachings. And he not only did that, he guided me also all through the, doubts and clarifications. And we used to go together most of the places. I was almost like his chaperone. And he will buy me books. He used to, because I didn't have money of my own, he used to buy me books. Whenever he buy the book, he'll buy a copy to me. And then both of us will read and discuss on that. And when we were together in Bombay, he had taken me to meet J. Krishnamurti. He had taken me to go and to 5 days we went consecutively to Nisargadatta Maharaj, satsang. And he had taken me to meet Anandamayi Ma. So all these things we were doing together as two brothers, going and doing all those things together. But it was the guru and shishya type of a moment, because he was in ochre robe and I was in my white dress at that time. So that is how it was those days. I don't know. It was a special bond between him and me. And he will wait for me if I told him I'll come. He will be sitting there waiting for me. And one day it so happened my car, and when this is after he had moved to Bangalore and married Nitya, and he had the son also. And I had told him I am in Bangalore, I would like and come and meet you. And the car broke down and I took almost 1.5, 2 hours late. And when I reached, he was sitting in the front room with the door open, waiting for me without even having his breakfast. And I told him I came late. I told Swamiji this, that I even now I call him as Swamiji only, not as Haridas ji or anything. For me, he is still a Swamiji for me. So I told him that car had a breakdown and I came late. So Swamiji said, I was waiting for you 2 hours late. I did not have a breakfast. Come, let us have breakfast. He was compassionate and loving, did not get angry or upset with me for, getting late, even though I could not inform him. Such love I have never seen from anybody in my life. It was a special love, a bondage between us. And it remained in all the time when we met in Palakkad, in Bangalore, wherever we met. He was staying for some time with Aurobindo Ashram in Bangalore. I had gone there and met him with my wife. That time also, there was this bondage between him, me, and of course Nitya was something very special. I cannot call it by any name, but it was something special, I would say.
So I just want you to know, Bindaji, that I think for anyone who listens deeply, they can feel what you're trying to share, and it's very, very important. Unless anyone feels a pressing need, I think maybe it would be good to close and just carry these things in our own heart, with the exception of anything else you'd like to say, Bindaji.
Well, I have nothing more to add. Had a nice time opening out my mind and my subjects. The questions were very pertinent, and thanks Ganesh and Srini and Satya who had asked these questions. Thank you all. see you on Wednesday with the Aparokshanubhuti class. Thank you all, Prasad,
Thank you,
Atmishya,
Bindu.
Prakash,
Thank you.
Ganesh, Srinivas. Thank you all.
It's always
Hari Om.
it's always fantastic to listen
Hari
to
Om.
gurus who are very near to our heart. It gives
Yes.
an extra enlightenment to listen to all your experiences, which actually enhances the confidence and courage in these spiritual seekers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ganesh. Hari Om. Good night.
Hari Om.